Hey guys, Newcomb here, and welcome to episode 3 of The Worst Thing I Ever Done. So, this first story is titled The One Bright Spot. When I was in 5th grade, I had serious issues, was bullied, didn't have any friends, was overweight, parents were constantly fighting, etc. Basically, life just sucked. The one bright spot in my life was my grandma. If I asked her to do anything, she would have done it. I was her special love and she treated me amazingly. Being an older person, she didn't have a job, she didn't have a bank account, so she kept all of her money in her purse. I saw that one day and a plan was hatched. At school, they were doing this stupid sale thing to raise money. The class that raised the most money would get a pizza party. I thought, hey, if I can help our class win a pizza party, maybe they'll like me. So I stole over $1,000 from my grandma that I loved to impress a bunch of 5th graders who hated me. Somehow, the school didn't question a 5th grader spending over $1,000 in cash, so we won the pizza party. And it didn't make a damn difference. Still got bullied. My grandma, on the other hand, worried herself to death. She thought she lost it somewhere. Thankfully, my parents helped her out. But my cover story for my parents, I found a rich person who wanted to buy pocket calendars, fell through pretty quickly. They never told her, but it eaten me up ever since. When I say she was worried herself to death, I'm afraid she did. Within 3 years, she passed away from complications from a surgery due to acid reflux. That essentially dissolved her esophagus. I don't know if worry caused it, but it certainly didn't help. Even thinking about 30 years later just rips me up inside. Our second story for today is titled I Fired Someone. I fired someone who has been with the company for over 25 years because my boss wanted the cost save. He didn't even deserve it. I left the company a month later. 25 years at the same company, and he couldn't even use it on his resume. The third story of today is pretty bad. The title of this one says, I wanted to meet a gay guy so I could make fun of him. I was very sheltered as a kid. I went to private Christian elementary and middle school with 16 people in my 8th grade class. When I was in 9th grade, I went to my first public school. No one knew me, so I felt like I had to be cool. One day, a friend of mine mentioned that her cousin was gay. I had never met a gay person before. I was genuinely curious if he was just as they appear on TV. So I asked her who he was, wanting to get a chance to meet him. She asked why I wanted to know who he was. Trying to be cool and not like I was genuinely curious, I replied, so I can make fun of him. The girl sitting in front of me, who I had never heard say a word, just turned around and said, You're a dick. It was the first and last thing she ever said to me. I never felt more like a piece of shit in my life than that moment. And for today's last story, it doesn't have a title, so I'm going to give it this one. I tried to be helpful, but I made the situation a lot worse. A few weeks ago, a lady riding her bike through an empty football oval where I was flying in my RC helicopter, when suddenly she was attacked by a group of magpies. Magpies are not much bigger than pigeons, but swoop and attack humans when it's mating season. So I thought, this would be a good chance to practice my flying skills. So I flew the helicopter over to scare the magpies, but it was a big mistake, as it was against the sun and I could not judge the distance properly, so I ended up completely shredding the magpies with the blades all over the helicopter. Cuts all over their body, with one losing its feet and one with half of its body gone. Blood and feathers were spraying everywhere. The worst part was the blood poured down all over the lady below that I was trying to save. She screamed and ran over to me, yelling at me, What did you do that for? I felt so threatened and vulnerable. She was a scary looking lady. So in defiance, I punched her in the face and knocked her out. She had blood running down her face and I had blood all over my hands. I ran and picked up my helicopter, which was pretty much destroyed, engine burnt out, and the gears grind to the max, and went home and waited for something to make me feel better. Alright guys, that's all the story for today. Let me know which one was your favorite and how would you behave in certain situations. I'll see you guys next time.